Namaste, hi, Meera here again with yet another story, my perspective and my learning. Getting cooperative with Mahabharata or get cooperative with Mahabharata, it's something that is a story or a character that we play every day. It was yesterday, it is today, and we continue playing that maybe even tomorrow for that matter. The favorite character, like as you all know, yes, it is Shakuni. During my growing up phase, when I used to ask about Shakuni, or any character which we label it as a negative character of that particular story, the answer we used to get then was that, why do you want to talk about this negative character? What good is he going to do for you? He was such a bad character that because of him, there was so much of death. So many people died, so many people lost their life, and the kingdom came down to ashes. But the answer, what I was looking for, I never got. And one day, I went against the odds just to figure out why he was hated, why he behaved the way he behaved. Well, I have on that a detailed story that I wish to share in my yet another series, yet another video. What is it I admire about him? Before talking about what is that I admire about Shakuni, something that I wish to share might be even he went through that. We want to do some work in our organization, or we take up a project, or it could be that we need to speak about our project to our customer or our client to sell our product or services. Before picking that phone or before hitting that sent mail, what happens is that we just cocoon ourselves in the fear of so many things: fear to face, fear of showing up, fear about this fact if I'm really confident, fear about, am I really capable enough to handle this? Fear about what is going to be my end result? Fear of, will I really get what I'm looking for? Fear about questioning, can I really finish this project? Let alone finishing. Am I really good enough to handle this project even halfway through? Fear of answering my manager, fear of leading my team, fear about my organization's goal, vision, or mission or purpose. Am I in line with that? Or is my purpose, vision, mission, all these aspects or the goal, is it in line with the organization that I'm working for? Am I associated with a brand that I'm looking for? Fear of whether I can start this thing. Fear of procrastination. Fear of if I put what I want to do in the back burner. Fear of fear. Sometimes we don't even know what we fear about. Connecting that to Shakuni. Shakuni would have definitely gone through all these things. He might have gone through that. But every day he believed in this aspect of showing up, come may what, in the court. Every day he showed up with his ideas. Every day he came up with a new idea. Every day he showed up sharing a new plan. Every day he came up with a strategy. Every day he studied about what his competitor, yes, Krishna, was thinking about. Every day he just thought about his competitor, what he might do if in case he proposes this idea. Every day he was working on a plan. What if my idea gets rejected? What should I look at plan B? Every day it was just not plan B. He had A to Z plan in his mind, and he was every day executing his task. Definitely, he would have lived in the fear of procrastination to show and showing up. He would have had all the kinds of a fear, but he never showed it up. It's just not about he not showing it up, but he showed it up in the form of task that he took for himself. He wasn't transactional. He just looked at strategies. I mean, easy to talk about strategies than being talking about the task or transactions. But strategy, which was always aligned with his outcome, his desire, his goal, his mission, and vision. Easy to talk about outcome, mission, vision, goal, and aspiration than desire as a statement, but he never put his time in statements. He put his time just being straightforward. He would have followed cunning path. He would have been cunning. He used unfair practices. Probably, if his goal was to help the clan build the kingdom. Probably, if his outcome was to work with Bhishmacharya and setting the Kauravas and Pandavas together a larger kingdom, it would have prospered. All his strategies, all his plans worked for him. It helped Duryodhana some or the other way, but he used unfair mechanism. Can we just revisit the tactics that he used? He always believed in showing up come may what. He always fixed his mind with the outcome in his mind. He always looked at the mission, vision, or the outcome, his desire and goal. Are they in line with his thoughts, his strategy, or his task? Can we look at always addressing the fears? He always addressed his fears by every day getting up with a purpose in his mind and closing or retiring to the bed with the same purpose of coming back, of showing up yet again the next day. For him, every day, sun was rising. He didn't bother about what time it is, but he showed up. So my learning from Shakuni, from my favorite character, use fair methodologies, be outcome oriented, always have that purpose in our mind. Fear is always going to be there. It is just like a weed which grows on a tree. When we are aware that a weed is within us, might be once or twice we remove it, but we are unable to uproot it. Absolutely fine. But as and when the weed shows up, we need to show up in the form of removing that weed, of course, from the root. And it's very important, like a gardener, he works in the garden. He keeps trimming the plants, he keeps trimming the shrubs to give a shape. It could be like a horse, it could be like an elephant, or it could be any shape that gardener has visioned in his mind. Let's show up like Shakuni, or let's show up like a gardener who keeps coming every day to show up. Come may what with the situation around, come may what the people around us, come may what whatever is our mental status or the emotional status for that matter. When we know that a weed is growing, it's important to remove it. As we remove it, there is a space that is created, and in that space, we start sowing our ideas and we work on the strategies. As the strategies are in place, we show up every day. As we show up every day, a habit falls into place. Once the habit falls into place, we see a growth, and once we see the growth, we practice the habit and the growth that we have tasked or assigned ourselves with. A calendar is automatically set. We don't have to wait for somebody or even for the gadget to wake us up through the alarm. And we don't have to go back to snooze it, because we will start hating the option called snooze, which is procrastination or putting it further. We will believe in showing up much before the manager requires. We will show up much before the team wants us. We will show up every day without bothering about what is the situation around. We will show up just for ourselves, for our goal, and for our principles. This is what helps anyone. You want to become that entrepreneur who wants to show up every day, come may what, because being an entrepreneur is just not only difficult or easy. It is like you are breathing in through your own lungs, you're sitting on your own spine, and you are creating opportunities for others. It's a 24/7, 365 days throughout the life you keep working. So it's important to show up. You're a founder or a co-founder, doesn't matter. You just gotta show up every day, come may what. You are an executive, you are a CFO, or you're a CEO, or you're a management, or you're someone who's just started the company from the scratch, and today you're in a well-to-do position, doesn't matter. We still need to show up every day. That's what I learned from Shakuni. Getting Shakunified is nothing but to use fair practices for our outcome, being aligned to the outcome, having a vision and a mission and a purpose in place. Purpose is just not job specific. A purpose is individual specific. We just don't have to look for things around. It is just within us. We just have to wake it up without the alarm. So get Shakunified, getting cooperative with Mahabharata is a series that I'm enjoying working on. Thank you so much for showering me with your blessings and the wishes, and so many mails wherein you have written to me, and also in the comments where you've been sharing that this series is something you also enjoy watching. And yes, I am definitely making a note of the suggestions, or if you call it as an advice, because it's helping me a lot for me to go back, revisit what I have shared in terms of the content, and relook at the content, how I can rework, and that I can give it to you sometimes as you wish for. So thank you. We'll be back with yet another story, my perspective in getting corporator or get corporator with Mahabharata. Namaste.